who's going to say the initial words? I think you should. You set this reading up. It's up to you, man.
Okay, I need that book stand.
Oh,
You went obstinate type.
all right.
Mine is 8.5 minutes. Is that,
Book stand number one,
Can I
and
do a
another one to
minute
display books
or-
on. Okay.
how about the introduction?
There you go.
Is that
And
just
that goes
time
here.
I
We'll get this unsightly mic case off the stage.
That's 8.5. Oh, actual poems, maybe.
Yeah,
All right.
it's, yeah.
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
And
Yes,
one more
ma'am.
stand to display some books.
I try not to race. That's the other aspect of it.
All right. This is the way it's done at BART and Beckett. Clumsily, but eventually we get started. We're going to display some books on this stand. All right. What do you think?
Sounds good.
It's grand.
You want to hand me some things to put on this stand?
Sarah?
Sarah, you got anything in your hand? Here. Just put one up for now, and then I'll get another stand to put more up. For now, we'll get one representation. Okay, and then I'll get another stand. Let's stack them. Just stack them here. I'm going to get another stand. We can't grab too much. All right. Very good.
An embarrassment.
Please are resting on them. Okay. All right. Here we are.
Is it time?
Julie Rogers is taking the stage, ladies and gentlemen. There she is. You may applaud. Okay, enjoy yourselves. We have a packed hour of poetry for you. And take it away.
Thank you, Eric. Well, this is a little gathering. We are so touched you guys came. And the four of us, Lisbet Bailey and Cathleen Williams and Sarah Menefee and myself, have been getting together and writing at Cafe Greco in on Columbus and North Beach for, you guys were actually doing this together for quite a while, and then they very kindly included me. So it's been great. And we sit around and drink coffee and talk and read other poets' poetry and write poetry and read our own poetry, and then we go out and eat great food. So it's a great thing to do. And we're going to read, and the first poet, I guess, is Lisbet Bailey. Okay, Lisbet.
Thank you, Julie. Is that all right? People can hear me?
Yes.
And Eric, and my fellow other.
Adjust that mic a little bit for you. It's
Okay.
a little bit high,
Okay.
kind of blocking your face.
All right.
So we're going to bring it down a little.
Yeah.
And you project a little differently than Julie, so we'll adjust for that a little bit.
Thank you.
Sure, my pleasure. That's going to be good.
Oh, that's much better. Thank you.
Good, good.
Yeah, so I'm really happy to be here, kind of against some odds. Magnolia. Root, trunk, and branch, the magnolia is ancient, a revolutionary archetype, here before the bees. Bark, leaf, and petal, magnolia is a vegetable, a medicine to calm anxiety. Yellow, green, or purple buds are flowers in waiting before blooming in yellow, pink, and white. Magnolia is love, moon and sun, they are perfect. Shanghai's flower bears exotic fruit with bright red seeds.
Nice.
Book. Your life is an open book, well used, tattered from learning and turning, pages with scraps tipped in, pictures yellow, brittle with age, or softened smoothly, though they were once sharp enough to cut. Ebullient feelings down to faint notions, now only visible in raking light, reveals broken and mended words that don't tell the whole story of you. With your lamb-like beginnings and feet of clay, you've become a lioness with clawed paws. Carved of stone with veins deeply frozen in blue-gray, sculpture bouquets deckled by time, adorn a legend of pat statements that ring with faint understanding, an impossible recap that fails to show your true self, roughly glossing over your humanity. So I press a blossom between the pages, a green stem and a red and merry bloom from a tree fully flourishing to preserve the flowering, not the falling. Water to drink. My body of hydrogen and oxygen, I'm part of the water, part of the bodies of seas and lakes and puddles after rain, of waves, waterfalls, and rapids. I drink in all of these and their natural motions. I swallow their strength and urgent calmness. Liquid resilience replenishes my blood and breath. It flows through my heart rhythmically. I'm a tributary of water's eternal life. I'm the water falling onto the soil to soak down, to feed the roots, to grow up and out in new growth. I have a few copies of this. This is my latest. I dined on rhinestones and Pisco. Anyway, a couple of those. Morning star. One glass-flecked stick, chafes red, then white, then sulfurous scent. My flame comes to life. I burn myself up. An effigy to anger, my bellowing taunts the flames, burning fast and white hot. The fire dies down, and I go up in smoke. Morning star, stirred embers glow from brittle bones of kindling. Before laying down logs, I build myself up. Yesterday's ashes color the ink I pen onto paper, brittle lines of letters, words logged from thoughts. Learning comes from within. Unreturned hopes smolder, black smoke rises, the ruins turn to ash. I'm fragile, and yearning remains. Tears arrive and overflow at last. They fall to the page. It's their darkening stains that I spurn. Every day I earn fresh green branches for my sins. Thoughts, words, ink, paper, and memories unextinguished. The fire will rise and ashes will fall. Reflections. Green tea with toasted rice and fortune cookies, an easy din of languages and teacups on a Saturday morning. The winter sun is warm, the fog whispers just above the water. There, insects, leaves, and twigs make impressions. Surface reflections blur the canopy's details. To me, there's no mystery above, in a blue sky with a warm sun. It's what's beneath the reflection that draws me in, that I fall into, where I'm swept into deep currents. I go willingly. Trees have taught me. 1. I thought about what resonates with me these days. It has to have deep roots that reach down to the earth's molten core. The roots grow up into a sturdy, lumbering trunk that reaches up to the sun's molten core. Branching limbs grow from the wooden pillar, long limber arms that share the deep roots and yet stand alone. Each bough, the same in life force, but different in resonant frequency. shared roots and branches that describe a central understanding of what resonates with me these days. 2. I'm imagining tunneling vision today, looking deeply into the trees ahead of me, seeing obstacles, some tall and foreboding, reaching into the sky, but then I walked right by into an open space dotted with smaller trees, one scraggly and struggling, another pushing out new growth along a well-developed limb. Tunneling vision became a long view with patterns and shades of bright green. 3. Walking through air of birdsong and cool residue of fog, I picked up a yellow rose from the middle of the path, where it had fallen, where it had been lost by someone. The rose was at the peak of blooming. I thought of it as a gift, its gentle curling petals and scent pushing through all of my obstacles to joy. I took it home, where it now sits within range of my senses, embellishing my home in concert with classical piano and candlelight. 4. This blue sky, is it imaginary, my imagination? The blue that is not my mood, the blue that is a celestial fact? Foreshadowing clouds with painterly appearance, bear no affectation, neither staged nor projected or following a script that might just say, improvise. This blue sky is always there, even when obscured by clouds and full of premonitions. Chrissy Field on New Year's Day. There's a kind of edginess there, precipitous, foreboding, breathtaking, the original truth of this place, a treacherous, accidental threshold, a bridge and amenities can't obscure. Do the jumpers sense the bittersweetness of beginnings and endings and choose to die to it in sorrowful ecstasy? Over breakfast on New Year's Day, I chose this place to walk headlong into, to bring my own trepidations to the shore, the place of forgiving and forgetting, to be lost in the hidden beauty, to take a grain of truth with me in remembrance. Weathering flags. A flag flying from a window made me wonder at the flyer's intentions. A symbol of national identity, beliefs, economic values, or right and wrong. Such lofty ideals are narrow pinnacles that few thrive on. For the rest of us, flags flail in strong winds, and we are browbeaten. During heat waves, flags fade and hang lifeless. On days of torrential downpours, saturated flags strain at the lines that raised them on high. A flag of stars and stripes, red, white, and blue. Was it ever a truth for me and for you? My last one. What do I know? I'm only guessing at this mystical game of poetry in this city today. Can I trace the mystery from then to now, from it to thou? Wasn't there a time when this place was something else, authentic, original, as intended by nature? And just how was it invalidated, and by whom, and what event? When was more than a moment and less than a millennium? Thank you.
I think it's about the same height. Thank you all for coming here today. Wow, with all that's going on. I'm going to read something. This book came out 20 years ago. It's all about the wars, the invasions, don't call them wars, that we were doing then. This poem, and there's a copy here. This poem was written on the first day of the attack on Afghanistan, called What is the Light? What is the light we wake to this October 1st? Are we awake? Did something change? The machines are massing in the poorest of places, and terror's the word indeed. Get on with your money, it says, the blood that feeds it an oily black. Don't wash a wound with blood, it says, on the side of a bus shelter signed Rumi. Last night in the fog on these dead streets, why so lonely all this life? Doesn't anyone but the poorest of poor appear to you, he asked. Of course they do, but these have always been my North Star, an eye above the lost streets and deserts of war. And here he comes, the shining of his metal crutches his pale face. To him belongs the night, all cold long. Cold, cold our might. Where is the Suffolk petal and its black light? So, thank you. This is called Natural Mort. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it. Picasso's pile of flayed sheep's heads, innocent on the butcher's counter. We don't look that thing in the teeth no more in a world of constant Guernica. Down with fascism. So, I shift the mood a little. Some very, if I can find them here, very recent things, putting together some little manuscripts in PDF. These are from a manuscript titled Verdigris, which is something I love. And I won't do the titles. The moon said to me, "You are no one," and I swooned with pleasure to know it. The sun said, "Know thyself," and burnt me down. A folded comforter down on the corner for his old dog and him. I already told you about how I climbed up to hear you. There was a smile up there at the top. It was your smile. Was it the ruby mountain I once climbed up and up, each step unbearable ecstasy? Was that you at its top? The way he crosses his legs reminds me of you. Oh God, Eros, how do you never get old? Every empty corner still feels the breeze. Your fingers stirred up. They battered my heart. The wind blows this way, except the ones that come off the hot, lost desert. The days and nights you forget right away, except for the lemon on your tongue and your long limbs. When they've stolen everything, leaving us all together here. The street calls my feet, my comrades who live out there. Pray for rain and sit and dream the day away. Someone's misery is sodden over there, right off Eyeball's stage. Drags it wetly past no place to stay. Sometimes you have to laugh at the absurdities capitalism unleashed in all its fine deconstruction, looking around at all it built in its cacophonous glut. Please save the brutalist stuff. I feel it deep in my gut. Who sent those echoes in their violet rags into my poor addled head? The lowbrow girl hangs around the outskirts. She recently grew breasts. She feels she's constantly busting out. Things change, but they never change, do they? Then the whisper steps into the panties of its undoing. Someone goes out in the wind to get something for someone they love, and life is ecstatic, ruach, ruach, out in the wind. And these are some very short things from a little gathering titled City of Red Ants. So if you've ever lived on the desert and stepped on one, you never forget it. Fire ants. When dance is the defiance, dance. Dance like you've got ants in your pants. Birth is an invasion of the settled order. We're so much larger than fire ants, and yet try taking on a city of them. Free the people reads the hand-lettered sign. Yes, that's great, she said, but let's see you make a sow's ear from a silk purse. Now that really would be something. At midnight, the work begins. Likes to wander out when everyone's gone home. No one sees the please on their cardboard signs. And there's a couple of little things about my childhood hero, still. By age 4, I already adored Popeye. Whatever came after that was pretty much deja vu. Hard to live up to, man. Okay, Sea Hag says, Wimpy, you only made love to me because I gave you hamburgers. Wimpy, yes, Haggy. Okay, and here's them. It was a cartoon, yeah. So this is in another mood from today. The last poem. What do you say we drop some bombs on Rumi today? Money brags with blood a-dripping out of its filthy maw. Thank you.
No more with Iran. So if you'd like to take this little booklet, these are the poems that I'm going to read today, then you can donate to Bert and Beckett. At the El Greco Cafe in San Francisco, in mind, we are always returning, trying to find what we've lost, not the key, but the door itself and the room within. Still searching? Is the house torn down? Perhaps the way there, exactly there, is not quite remembered. And too, you know, the beloved people no longer frequent the neighborhood. Here, North Beach without Poet Jack, that wonder boy who partied in L.A. on the beach all night. These mornings and days advancing, impossible to hold, more like water than stone. The feeling of going on, that you have to go on. After all, you do not even speak the language yet, and you are still learning all you can. Late May. Late May and the mist tears away above the trees. The roses, intruders at the road's edge, are exploding. They want to get in, at least to look in, pretend to be part of the movement that involves us. Song sparrows on the hills, willows dense along the coast, cosmos in the ditches, reminding cries. driving, listening, thinking, fighting a little, just because we can't help but want to perfect what's rolling past, out of our grasp. Like the workhorses off in a field now, running, wind in the grass. Whitney Plantation, the only place. Whitney Plantation is the only place in the United States dedicated to the enslaved people this nation kept captive there. Throughout that long moment that lasted centuries, they resisted. Not just the hurt and the terror. Whitney Plantation tells us the songs and the ways they carried with them from Senegambia and the Congo. What they planted, even though exhausted, then cooked on open fires. How they tried to outlast their subjugation, raise their children, keep going, keep living. I have been thinking about them all day. Their shadows will return to me for my remaining years. They themselves long dead, unrecoverable, almost no bodily trace. Here on the sunken tracks of Cane along the Mississippi, west of New Orleans, on the road to Baton Rouge. Yet, like us, they left footprints when the dust was soft, lingering until blown or brushed away. Like ours, their eyes gleamed in the dark. When glancing, the moon caught them. Each a droplet, each a name. Like us, each never to be born a second time. Their hearts, their history lie at the core of our nation, the molten point of origin where our struggles forged. Passing through now, the land itself still subjugated, on the gray horizon in the heat, silvered towers and spires and cancers, mile upon mile. The people still here, perhaps descendants. Still they resist, organize, insist. Their lives count too. In the land of the bees, February, almonds first to break fierce insistence of their petals, tenacious beneath our troubles in the rain. That patience, let it last, let it outlast. So near these goddesses, arms careless with bloom, the spring they presage, always again beginning, in the land of the bees. For all. The light upon the sea, silver upon gray. For all. The low moon, orange at midnight. For all. Love for the barely lovable. For all. Quiet presence, responsibility. The birds lifting, way out free, for all. Okay, and this is the last one. The desert speaks for my son. 1. The desert speaks, blue curdled cloud, motion against motion, air just enough to slightly rock, the dead, the living, dry and skeletal brush, all silently striving now or once in the endless past. Greasewood, yucca, Spanish dagger. If you didn't know, this will teach you. Beneath the confusion, the clear voice. Lizard darts to his home in the roots. Saturn absorbs its rings, rain-rich Europa and Sirius whirl. I turn to you, desert, deserted land, the wheels of sky, the mountains in motion, ridge and shale, grasses and shrub, a family of inquiring stones etched in the far reaches. 2. You found the road you sought toward the mountains. It wound across the rocky desert floor, red, tawny gold, where brittle brush leaves, like a memory, have turned to scraps of paper, veined, creased, dangling, shaped like hearts or arrows. The flowers they once bore, a shower of stars, as if the universe, finite but unbounded, could be here beheld as cosmic grace. No more in her eye.
Eric, I want to thank you again.
My pleasure.
He really accommodated us for this. And I want to thank all of you for coming. It was wonderful, very touching. And I want to thank these beautiful poets. So I have a sort of mishmash of stuff here. I'd like to start with this poem because it amuses me. And it actually got published. It's called Tendencies. Life drives me crazy. I swear, this is not my car. I don't remember buying it. I can't afford to rent it. I don't recall parking here. There's never enough insurance. I wouldn't shop here if someone had warned me. Who knew? Right here, this gets real existential, like, I don't understand the stricken world, so sad and beautiful. All I know is somehow I stopped here and choose to stay to continue the tradition. I tell myself, remember to stand up. Then I look around to see if I have the keys. Then it all comes back. Turns out I do drive. I even have a license. I drive good. It's strange where one's mind can go. This is a poem from my family. It's called Miracles. Learning to lower my head to love, on my knees like a child. Stepping away from myself for anyone, you. To see my faults and know them and feel regret. Understanding I'm not alone and still embarrassed, I gulp and go on. To be willing to go on. To hold everything close, knowing it will be gone eventually or soon. To be this courageous because love never dies. It's alive, moving through us like all the rivers in the world, all the oceans of troubles, running us ragged, washing us up on the beach. Not quite a picnic, but the view is spectacular. Ever since I started reading poetry a really long time ago, I always get really terrible cotton mouth. Because all my saliva escapes out of my armpits. So this is a very odd poem, but I just have to read it. And to comfort you, it was written for Halloween, just so you know. And this was written for Sista. Holding you close, a macabre perspective. If your brain was in my hand, well, both actually, it's ample. I would lovingly cup it like a special lab experiment, carefully supporting your cerebrum, gently kneading the stem, sagging only slightly due to vigorous use. And I'd push your entire organ into my heart. It's crowded in there, but you've always had clearance. Notably, I'd make extra space. After all, we once were roommates. I'd protect and keep it safe, though every twitching muscle and tender nerve would squirm in my hands pre-insertion. This process could be messy, but stains are expected and welcome, and I assure you, I'd never wash my hands again. Kind of weird. Okay, this is for my friends Essay and Lorraine, who marched in Los Angeles very recently when hell broke loose, and then went back and helped clean up graffiti, and more hell broke loose. So this is called Thanks to the News. Here in this world, I am compelled to listen until my heart shatters on the kitchen floor as I try to prepare a privileged breakfast. The world is my diner. I am the waitress. The starving, suffering masses echo through the radio. I breathe airwaves gasping. Then I eat eggs and toast. Grief is served on the side, whether I'm bare in my robe or standing here dressed, fully shocked. I know these aren't really that fun, but the world isn't. This was written a year ago, just less than a year ago, during the sweeps. It's for Mr. Newsom in the city halls. Face this freeway. You say it with your face, worn as uneven sidewalks, staring out from behind the signs, held up like shields from exhaust. The damp wind upside rough cheeks, chilled as the cold exposes you, and the people trying to live, swept off by the law from the torn streets of this magnificent city, like broken panes of glass. Every shard reflects us and cuts through false promises, the money spent on everything else, the affordable housing famine, the shortage of brown bag sandwiches, the blanket deficit, random seizures of shopping cart luggage, flattened cardboard boxes vacated daily, becoming mounds under plastic nights in camps passed by, then swept away. Eyesores in the dulled eyes of a government that won't look long enough to cry. Refusing to see a damned thing, damned by this magnificent, classy city disguised as renewal. You say it with your face because you know those in control are not listening. The concept of despair, distant, familiar, ignored, will numb the heart. You say it with your bare face because the powers that be lose consciousness when the mask of privilege falls on eyes afraid to recognize the obvious. You say it with your life because you live here in it. Thank you. This poem was written during a cancer scare last year, and it's also about meditating. And everything turned out okay. Yeah. Slice. Take off a piece of yourself, put it in your mouth, and try to talk about it, or around it, or try to ignore it. In private, one tends to choke. The public don't want to see that. It can be hard to breathe evenly as the cause of it all slowly settles. the gut growing heavy, like something will happen to you sooner or later. It gets so close, your heart beats at you, echoing what you think. You think you can't take it. Not knowing is too much, but knowing could be unthinkable. And that's when you cut fear down to size and drop it. Slice it clean through. Then sit. My heart goes out to everyone going through cancer. This is sort of like a personal pep talk. It's called The Hardest Job. First, you want to do something. Then you get an idea and you pursue it. Run, run, run. You know you must focus and decide what to do, what will work. Run, run, run by yourself. And if you're lucky, one of the smart ones who want to help someone else step up. Together you go into your mission with all your heart until suddenly you may learn you're not exactly who you thought you were. And gotta look real hard at why you choose to do this and what's in it for you. And next you see, you need to work on yourself, and that's the hardest job, man. That's the real work. Everything is training. It's a setup. It's perfect. You're hired. Oh, that's familiar, huh? Good. Not alone. This was written on the last 4th of July we had just about a year ago. It's called Ignition. Shocking the sky, fire explodes, red, white, and blues, scattering sparks past city limits, tearing at the dark. Airing rages sorrow masked in electric colors, burning the skin of America. Scarred with bling's allure, disguising suffering, in wild throbbing pulses of colored lights, hitting clouds like bombs, shaking the people awake. We don't sleep well, knowing what the world powers are doing to the world. Artillery blowing us apart, brilliant fragments dropping out of space. Happy Independence Day, on a dark night in history, in a dream of freedom, lighting hell's match for peace on earth. And this is my last poem, written on the solstice, our last winter solstice. And this is for everybody. It's called Thanks. For you, I give thanks. For your embrace, I offer my arms. For your hurry, my legs. For our work, my hands. For our pain, my empathy. For the land, I devote my body. For the sea and sky, my eyes. For blooming flowers, my nose. For a taste, my mouth. For words, my tongue. For poems, I leave my mind. For those being born, my breath. For those dying, my heart. For the world, my life. For all the beings, all our prayers. For everything that is, all that is. We are inseparable. Thanks for helping me learn this one thing. One is plenty. Thanks for coming, everyone. Take good care.
All right, thank you all for coming out. Thanks to the poets. They did bring books. You can just see them directly about the books, and they're not all visible there. There's another music stand here that could be filled up. And yeah, Kathleen has very graciously suggested that if you pay $5 for one of these, she's gonna donate that to the store, which is very kind. These are poems from the readers here today. So,
Yeah, I will do the same, for sure.
well, very wonderful. Thank you very much. So, do see the poets directly about life. Thanks a lot. Here's a place to put more books out if y'all have more to display. I think Sarah's got some. Okay. And if you want to go grab a taco, we've got a show at 7 o'clock. There's a great band called the Autonomous Zone, playing from 7 to 9. It's the house band for the Club Menefee and the Eye Hotel, Manila Town Heritage Center. There you go. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, well, I'll be in touch. Seeing as you were around here. And I feel like traveling. But until she's so not. I mean, let's hope. I know, so glad. It's like I feel like I met you here. It's like, oh good, I got to hang with you. Sorry I missed the Cosmic Elders. My family just left, and honestly, I had to. Yes, this I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. That was good.
Congratulations for getting this job.
I don't.